So I chose to make this resource guide for assistive technology to really just kind of highlight the main features of what assistive technology is. I found that in my school, a lot of the teachers aren't really familiar with assistive technology or how it's used. So I geared my resource guide really more towards that in my district and how I could use it to help other professionals as a speech therapist, just also better support my students going forward. So here's my homepage for my resource guide. And then here on the sidebar, I have a list of links as to what is assistive technology as it's loading. So this is one of the main links that I have, along with some supportive links. Some of them I kind of put in here just to make how you find them easier. So as you can see, these are some web pages that I've embedded within the Google site, as well as some links. This is actually one website that my supervisor recommended, so I made sure to include this, understood.org. And it's a great resource to really teach for a variety of topics, and they just happen to have one on assistive technology. We just did one in our district with dyslexia based on this website, understood.org. So as you can see here, this is just kind of like the what is and general guide to assistive technology. Another area that I chose to cover was for teachers. Again, my district, not a lot of people really kind of know about assistive technology or its uses. So this is a good guide for the teachers, what you need to know for kids with learning and attention issues. Here's the teacher's perspective, how to integrate it into the classroom, the accommodations, and the legal mandates and working in a school, that's important to make sure that you know what the laws and what your students are entitled to. And then I found this, which was really cool. I thought 10 things every district should know. So again, all of the links you are able to click on to get more information. I found this Georgia Department of Education, although I'm from New Jersey, I'm not from Georgia. I found this resource to be really helpful when making this guide. They had a lot of good information. So this just kind of states a few things that districts as a whole should know in regards to assistive technology. So I made sure to incorporate that in here as well. I'll go back to the website. Users of assistive technology. And then on this page, I really put how assistive technology helps various individuals with disabilities and how it can support them. So for kids with learning disabilities, what parents should know. I feel like that's a big area in our school, as parents are really unsure too, and how to help their child. Different things to consider when going about finding the appropriate user for assistive technology. Just some of the areas that they have weaknesses in and where it would help them. Assistive technology for students. Here's another resource roundup. So it just kind of summarizes a bunch of different resources available to users of assistive technology, just to kind of help them as a guide. And then here, alternative communication systems. This is my area where I really had a lot of interest in as a speech therapist. So I made sure here to incorporate different resources. So the ASHA website, America's Speech and Hearing Association, and their stand on augmentative communication. AAC is the abbreviation for it. So this kind of states what it is. And then as the page loads, I'll have some more things pop up. So for the top half, I kind of included resources about what augmentative communication is, different devices, high-tech AAC. And then as you go down here below, I made a separate segment for the different augmentative communication options. So there's different companies. Tobii Dynavox is one that a lot of people have heard of. But then there's others that aren't as well known. So Prenti Romic, Here's some lower technology devices. So the GoTalk is a lower tech, just simple switches. And then if you keep going down, SmartBox is a new one that's up and coming. It's very similar to the Tobii Dynavox. Lingraphica has a lot of great resources. Talk to Me is very similar again to the SmartBox and the Tobii Dynavox. And then there's PEX, which is popular for children with autism, and a lot of ABA therapists use that as well. So I included that resource. And then I also have here cognitive assist devices. I incorporated it as this was where I really wanted to learn a lot throughout this course. Being a speech therapist, I know a lot of the communication aspects of augmentative communication and assistive technology. However, this year I have a good amount of students with cognitive disabilities. And so this is where I really wanted to learn. So on this page, I have a lot of resources for those with cognitive disabilities, strategies, technology behind it, the role of assistive technology. So again, I have a mix of web pages that are embedded into the site as well as links. So low tech, even things as simple as, highlighting the lines of the paper for those children to see the lines better. Just to learn what assistive technology encompasses within that. For those students, it was neat to learn about assistive technology for those with learning disabilities. You can hear the keyboard is different colors. That's considered a form of assistive technology. So that was really nice to kind of focus in on even less expensive, more readily available accommodations that could be made for these students. Here's some assistive tools, text-to-speech. And again, here's some more, like even in terms of like voice reminders, tech toolbox. These are just different apps. Hygiene is important. So it was really neat to learn about all the different types of assistive technologies that's out there for a population that I don't normally work with. I chose to do this resource guide on the Google platform just because my district is very Google driven. So when I share this with other teachers, it's something that's familiar to everyone. You don't have to go learning a new navigation. And it's also a lot easier to share as we are a Google district. So that's why I chose this platform to make my resource guide over all the others. It was just the familiarity to those that I plan on sharing this with.